Hi, I'm Ariane Nettles, a producer here at WBEZ, and this is 3 in 3, the news you need to know in 3 minutes or less. The cost of water in Chicago has tripled over the past decade, and that's left families, especially those in low-income neighborhoods, struggling to keep up. Today, I'm talking with race, class, and communities reporter Maria Zamudio about who's affected by water shutoffs the most in Chicago, how easy it is to be trapped in a cycle of debt, and what's happening now to address the problem. Hi, Maria.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, who's most affected by water shutoffs in Chicago?
We know from our reporting that the vast majority of the shutoffs are concentrated in mostly poor Black and Latino neighborhoods in Chicago's west and south sides. And about 40% of all those shutoffs are concentrated in only 5 zip codes of the city's poorest neighborhoods.
And when somebody's water is shut off, how does that push them into like a cycle of debt?
Poor families are trapped into this cycle where they can't afford the rising cost of water. They face a shutoff, then they have to pay to get their water reinstalled, and on top of that, they have to pay interest on the total balance that they owe. And so even when they enroll in these payment plans, they're still trapped in these like huge bills. And so for families who can't afford to get on the payment plan and resort to illegally restoring their water, they get charged an additional $500 penalty. And so when we analyzed the fines and fees, we noticed that the vast majority of those fines and fees were also concentrated in those neighborhoods.
And what's happening now to address the problem?
So before our reporting came to light, there was very little conversation among some of the local leaders. There was one ordinance, the Water for All ordinance, that was introduced about a year ago that would address issues of affordability. But that ordinance hasn't gotten much momentum. And what's happening is that there's at least one mayoral candidate that called for a moratorium on the shutoffs. And then also the chairman of the Latino caucus called for his colleagues to step up and try to fix the issues with the water department and the water department system.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Ariane Nettles, and that's it for today's 3 in 3. For more info on this topic, follow us on Twitter at WBEZ and MI Zamudio, and visit us online at WBEZ.org.